into the NBA. We have another deal that was the weirdest deals I can probably think of, just because I'll kind of get into it. I'm not even going to hold it any longer. Gary Trent signing a 4-year deal with Milwaukee for $60 million.
Right.
Guaranteed all $60 million. Like this whole deal just kind of smells like funky cheese. And it's not to poop on Gary Trent at all. I mean, I think he's a very well NBA player, but he's coming off statistically one of the worst, if not probably the worst season of his career. In terms of the games he played 74 games, averaged 25 minutes, 25 and a half minutes, and averaged 11.1 points. And that was by far the lowest that he's averaged.
Right.
Since he's probably entered the league in his second year. And kind of going down into it, 43% for his field goal percentage. That's the third, fourth highest that he's had. Like, it just wasn't a good year. And I don't want to get too deep into the numbers, but obviously it wasn't a good year for Gary Trent. So for him to have a crazy deal as to 4 years, guaranteed, that like it didn't look right for me, at least as a sport fan, because I saw that on my phone as an ESPN notification, and I was kind of dumbfounded.
So I mean, for you, because like what I guess my thing is like going to depth in terms of like what causes that red flag in terms of, I mean, outside of the performance, like what do you think is behind the deal that ultimately that might get uncovered by the NBA that you feel like is
in terms of the Gary Trent deal? Like I as a sport fan, I knew that was just a ill deal. Something looked wrong. It took probably about 5 days to a week, I would say, 5 to 7 days for something to actually raise a flag. Because I was even talking about it with some coworkers, and I'm like, yo, this deal, like, did you guys see this deal? Because this deal looks crazy. Is it just me acting crazy on this? And then come to find out, the NBA is investigating the whole deal now, and it's just like, I knew I wasn't looking crazy on this. Like, this deal did look crazy.
It did and it didn't, and here's why I say it didn't. Like, when you go back to his history in 2021, 2024, he signed a $51 million deal, which is similar to what the deal that he just signed here with this 4-year, $64 million contract. And when you're talking about that thing, I think the performance between 2025 and 2026 is probably what has people on pause of like, all right, well, why would you go and reach?
Well, I mean, it's not even just that year. Like, from the year that you had stated from 2022, it's been a drastic decrease.
Yeah, he's been declining in it. And
the fact that you guys gave him the $60 million guarantee, like, that's
what, I think my biggest thing is just like, it's not to say that he hasn't been a $15 to $17 million player at some point in time in his career.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. No, I know, for sure.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, if he never was that, then I'll be like, all right, that's a problem.
But then again, okay, so look at it from the league's aspect. This guy's coming off of two 1-year minimums.
I mean, hey, listen, nobody's going.
It's not doing better off of those 2 1-year minimums.
100%. But nobody. Look at the past contracts and things like that that have signed. Like, all right, let's take AI for instance. When he went to Memphis, or when he went to Detroit, or when he went into they still gave him some decent money, and he was on a decline. Right? You know what I mean? It's just like
I get your argument, but that's a whole different AI and Gary Trent Jr.
Like two different. You're talking about obviously NBA Hall of Famer and this guy that's a role player, but I'm just saying I'm putting it together not from a perspective of where they are with their careers. I'm putting it in a perspective of their performance and the decline and acceleration of where they went and up and down of it. That's why I'm putting it like, all right, like how can you just say, all right, I'm cool, and I'm playing devil's advocate in this, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm trying to look at both sides. Cuz is concerned in it, and I'm concerned, but I'm really not concerned because again, at one point in time in his career, just 4 years ago, he was that guy. Like he was, and they lucked up, but they underpaid for him a little bit at the time. And then now you talk about inflation with what the contract is, with the salary cap going up, with everybody's funding going up, with the new TV deal that NBA has.
At that point, you got to be taking a real shot at this thing.
Yeah, like but there's a lot of guys that got overpaid. I felt like this summer, a lot of guys that got.
I'm not gonna argue that.